I'll tell a little bit about ourselves. Josie and I, we are currently from Eugene, Oregon area. We drove here with a 5-month-old. That was a 4-month-old when we first hit the road. It was quite an adventure. Originally, I'm from Iowa. She's from Michigan. And so is there any other Iowa people out there? Never is. Okay.
Oh, one.
Oh, yes. Then he left. It happens. Josie and I, we've been married for over 9 years, 8 months, 3 weeks, a handful of days. And who's counting? It's been a great adventure. The adventure keeps getting greater. Eliza has been the most beautiful thing that we could ever experience. When Josie and I, when we first got engaged, I had some warnings from people I didn't know, people that had this sense that they needed to really encourage me in the step I was about to make. So they told me this. Many older gentlemen in the church I was going to. The first 2 years are terrible, but hang in there. I see guys nodding like, yes. Well, that wasn't very encouraging to me. I was like, what's going to happen after it happened over and over again with these guys? And our first 2 years were amazing. We're like, wow, what's wrong with people? Then our third year showed up. Josie and I, we started full-time music our third year of marriage, and it was horrible, absolutely horrible. There was the uprooting of our normal life from a home to this rented dorm room, and we started having some problems. You know how there's some environments in your life that you get into that are kind of like pressure cookers? They accelerate things. Well, the acceleration in our marriage was that of the troubles that we didn't face. So they all come bubbling to the surface. And it got so bad that I literally was looking for plane tickets to send her back to Michigan, where I found her. At the time we were living in California. And I later found out she was also looking for tickets to get back to Michigan.
I was.
But we were broke. Mm-hmm. We couldn't go anywhere. So hence we couldn't escape each other. And I remembered there's one night specifically I was afraid to go into that room that we were living in. So I was outside.
Because I was in the room.
She was in the room, and I was afraid of her at that time. And I was just praying, like, God, if you can do something to rescue this marriage, I don't want to just be another statistic. I don't want to just exist and act like we're okay, because that's basically what we were doing at that point, acting like we were okay, but everything was disintegrating inside. And like, God, if you can rescue this, if you can bring life back into this marriage, whatever it takes, do it in my heart, whatever. And that year was a year of learning, of growing together, and feeling like maybe we'd never get above water. But we landed at the end of that year having loved each other and learned to love each other in ways that we could never have. Enduring through difficulties and conflicts is an absolute necessity to actually know someone. And I think like one of the big issues that you often run into is workplaces, churches, where there's people that just get under your skin, and you can smile like, hi, or in this context, happy Sabbath. But inside you're like, I'm going to sit over there, and since they're over here. Jesus knew this kind of stuff would exist. He said, my disciples will have love one for another. He said that not because we could do it if we made ourselves do it, but because we needed to recognize how broken we were. We don't even have the capability of loving, do we? Anyone that's married recognizes how broken you are. But God had a plan, and that was to put that love inside of us, to birth something that didn't exist before. And he gave a definition of love, if you want to challenge yourself for this week. And that challenge is in 1 Corinthians 13, where it says that love is patient, and love is kind. Think about that as you go through your week. Since you guys have crazy drivers here, you're going to need lots of prayers for that. This song is about that journey of kindness.
When her hard words have been unspoken, when the feelings have run strong, when both of us are certain that the other one is wrong, when we've deeply felt the difference as we stood to plead our cause. Maybe we should call a ceasefire and take time to recall kindness and kindness. There is always room to show some kindness, kindness. There is always room for kindness. There's no reconciliation for these contradictory views. They both might be mistaken, but they both cannot be true. But before we pull the trigger or launch a new jihad, can we trust in something bigger? Give this battle up to God. Kindness and kindness. There is always room to show some kindness and kindness. There is always room for kindness. Well, the questions here are big ones, high as heaven, deep as hell. But until we walk together, or until we say farewell, kindness and kindness. There is always room to show some kindness and kindness. There is always room for kindness.
Tell me the story of Jesus. Write on my heart every word. Tell me the story most precious, sweetest that ever was heard. Tell how the angels in chorus say
So this next song we're going to share with you, I wrote, I don't know, a couple years ago, just kind of having a bit of an anxious day, and God just gave me this simple little song that I started playing and singing, and Matt and I have enjoyed it since it was written, but when we were expecting Eliza, I think we were about a month into the pregnancy, we thought, why don't we start singing to her in the womb? And we were trying to think of a song and decided on this little song that we're going to share with you. And it seemed like kind of maybe a little different song to sing, but didn't realize how much the words would mean to us as time went on. I had a really difficult time giving birth. I had a lot of complications and a hard time healing afterwards, and Eliza has had some health issues as well. And the words to the song, as we've sung them over and over, have been meaningful to us. It's been a good reminder for me. I've really struggled with my faith over the last few months, and singing the song over and over and thinking about the words and thinking about God as a father has been really helpful to me. And what was really beautiful, when she was first born, she was laid on my chest and she was crying. And we started to sing this song, and she stopped crying and she turned and she looked at us, because she'd heard it every night since she was just a tiny baby in the womb. And so we've been continuing to sing it to her, and she'll, when we sing it to her at night, she'll often look at us and just smile as we sing it. It's really beautiful and precious, and hopefully we can plant the seeds of God's goodness and love in her little mind that will go with her for the rest of her life and into eternity. And with this song also, the lyrics are going to be up on the screen. We'll sing it through the first time, and we'd love to have you join us on the second time through.
Trust thou in God, do not be afraid. He who holds the worlds knows each of us by name. So lay your troubles down, don't be of anxious mind. Your Father knows all that you need, and He is good and kind. Trust thou in God, do not be afraid. He who holds the worlds knows each of us by name. So lay your troubles down, don't be of anxious mind. Your Father knows all that you need, and He is good and kind.
So I said I wrote that last one because I was anxious and stressed. Guess what? I wrote the next one because I was anxious and stressed. I'd be ashamed and embarrassed to tell you how many songs I've written because I've been stressed out about life. I'm a little bit of a type A personality, a little bit high-strung, and am I alone? Or is there anyone else in the room like me? Okay, I am not alone. Well, this next song, I had set some deadlines, stuff that needed to be done by a certain time in my mind, and it didn't get done by that time. It was actually with tour booking. And so I was really stressed out and anxious, and just having a really hard time. And in the midst of a really, really bad day, God just spoke to my mind. He just whispered into my ear, Josie, I have all the time in the world. What is your problem? And I just realized in that moment, I needed to quit trying to be in charge and in control of everything. And it's been one of those songs that I've needed to sing over and over again because I'm thick-headed, I think, and learn slow. So God often gives me songs that I need to sing hundreds and thousands of times. So maybe I will slowly learn. So anyway, we want to share the song with you. If you are a stressed out, anxious person, I hope it just kind of gives you some lightness of heart, remembering that God is able. He's not bound by time like we are, and he can accomplish beautiful things in a short amount of time. If you are a procrastinator, I'm so sorry, but this song is not for you. You will have to plug your ears or forget it as soon as it's sung or something. So, anyway.
I see you stress and fret. Have you gotten ulcer yet? Worries eating you inside out. Deadlines that need met. Not a moment left. Always in a hurry. What's your worry? Why the big hurry? I've got all the time in the world. So why don't you let go of what you can't control? Let me take it for you. Love, what's your worry? Why the big hurry? I've got all the time in the world. Quick prayer on the run, always so much to be done. It's a constant crazy frenzy. But if time's of the essence, then you need my presence. So may I ask you a question? What's your worry? Why the big hurry? I've got all the time in the world. So why don't you let go of what you can't control? Let me take it for you. Love, what's your worry? Why the big hurry? I've got all the time in the world. You've got minutes, well, I've got days. You've got seconds, well, I've got ways. You're out of options, well, I still got thousands. So tell me, what's your problem? Oh, oh, what's your worry? Why the big hurry? I've got all the time in the world. So why don't you let go of what you can't control? Let me take it for you. Love, what's your worry? Why the big hurry? I've got all the time in the world.
How many cello players are there out there? Okay. Any banjo players? Any banjo players? Anyone? I'm in the South, come on. Okay, well, this is a combination of the two. It's called a cello banjo, so it's not a traditional banjo. And so I thought that I would give you a little taste of what that would be like if you tried to merge those two instruments together through the avenue of a piece of Bach. Some of you we saw on Thursday, so you'll know the answer to this here, but I'm going to introduce a couple instruments to the rest of you. The one I'm going to be playing here is called an Irish low whistle. You might be familiar with it, even if you're not familiar with looking at it. When you hear it, you'll be like, okay, I've heard that in music before. But this thing that Josie has, how many of you are familiar with one of these? She's kind of got it wired up so she can't lift it high. It's called a Chestatee box. A Chestatee box. It looks like a wooden laptop from like the, 60s? So we're going to take this Indian Chestatee box, Irish whistle, and try to do a Scottish version of Old Hymn.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Sing it with us. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun. I've seen the writing on the wall. I've seen the best of things. I've seen my kingdoms rise and fall. I've seen the wounds in everyone I know, and all these things, but still I hold on tight to the altars I keep building to the sky, to the coffers and my failed attempts to fly. I've held the promises of man. Drink from this water deep, and I've held beauty in my hand. I kissed her mouth and watched her turn to sand, and all these things, and still I hold on tight to the altars I keep building to the sky, to the coffers and my filled attempts to fly away. How long must we hold on before grace and gravity collide? Hold on tight to the altars I keep building to the sky, to the coffers and my failed attempts to fly away. But still you say you're mine, you're mine.
This next song is one we'd love for you to kind of do a response with. You know, a lot of those responsive readings that sometimes can be a little bit awkward? We're going to make it really simple, okay? We're going to sing some lines, and you're going to follow Josie, and you're going to be responding. For instance, the first few lines is, do you feel the world is broken? The response is, we do. Do you feel the shadows deepen? We do. But do you know that all the dark won't stop the light from getting through? We do. And the next verse will be like, it is, and the response. Anyway, just follow along with the song. If you agree with these lines, then sing out in response, and just follow Josie on this.
Do you feel the world is broken?
We do.
Do you feel the shadows deepen?
We do.
But do you know that all the dark won't stop the light from getting through?
We do.
Do you wish that you could see it all made new? We do. And is all creation groaning?
It is.
Is a new creation coming?
It is.
Is the glory of the Lord to be the light within our midst?
It is.
Is it good that we remind ourselves of this? It is. Is anyone worthy? Is anyone whole? Is anyone able to break the seal and open the scroll? The Lion of Judah, who conquered the grave, he is David's root and the Lamb who died to ransom the slave. Is he worthy? Is he worthy of all blessing and honor and glory? Is he worthy of this? Does the Father truly love us?
He does.
Does the Spirit move among us?
He does.
And then does Jesus, our Messiah, hold forever those he loves? He does. Does our God intend to dwell again with us? He does. Is anyone worthy? Is anyone whole? Is anyone able to break the seal and open the scroll? The Lion of Judah, who conquered the grave, he is David's root and the Lamb who died to ransom the slave. From every people and tribe, from every nation and tongue, he has made us a kingdom and priests to God to reign with the Son. Is he worthy? Is he worthy of all blessing and honor and glory? Is he worthy? Is he worthy? Is he worthy of this? He is he worthy? Is he worthy? He is.
He is worthy. When I was 9 years old, some relatives, close friends of mine, my uncles and aunt, got into drugs. And it was affecting them terribly. And one of my uncles I was super close with. And watching him change so fast and fall apart was devastating. I remembered in my 9-year-old brain, and not in a judgmental, better than him way, I asked the question, how in the world could he get so messed up so fast? He was fine just a couple years ago. What has happened? Fast forward 10 years, I'm sitting on the edge of my bed. I'm looking across my bedroom into the mirror in my room. Not in a proud way at all, but in a broken way. Because I was asking myself the same question that I asked 10 years before. Matt, how in the world did you get so messed up so fast? Life seemed to be fine not that long ago, and now you're in some heavy bondage. I didn't get into drugs like my uncle did. I got into pornography and all the stuff that goes with that. And what seemed kind of innocent at the beginning turned into bondage. And I hated the person I was becoming. I was also a horrible liar. Lying goes pretty naturally when you're trying to cover up the sin in your life, doesn't it? And I remember just thinking, okay, I got to be free from this. I shouldn't do this. I know this isn't right. So I would just decide, that's it. Never going back to that again. Yet I found myself there again and again and again. And it was quite terrifying to realize that I had no power to fix myself. And it was because of this that I began to search and find out, is God real? Because if he is, can he deliver me? My greatest fear at that point was maybe I'd find out that God was real, but he wasn't good. Maybe I had gone too far. I was too messed up of a person for God to love. or to forgive. But as I began to read the Bible, story after story, it's filled with messed up, broken people. Broken people that God loves and delivered. And the beautiful part of the story for me is that I didn't just find forgiveness, though I desperately needed it. I found freedom. The thing that was the greatest proof and evidence of the reality of God to me, because what I could never do on my own, God could accomplish, and he was there. I don't know what goes on in each of your lives. I don't know the kind of burdens you carry. I don't know, like, the things maybe in your past that swallow you up with shame and make you doubt whether God could really love you. I want to encourage you that he does. He sees everything. And there's nothing that you could ever do to make him love you less. Maybe you got stuff going on currently in your life and you just never dreamed that you'd be here. I mean, you know better. You're a Christian. You're a leader. You're a parent. You're a husband. And you don't want anybody to find out because you are ashamed. And God sees all these things too. And his response is simple. He says, "Come to me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." He wasn't talking about a nice nap. He was talking about freedom. He'll give you rest for your soul. If you carry those burdens, don't carry them any longer. Respond to the call of Jesus. And he says, "Come to me." You have everything to gain.
We want it to be trusty and true, but feathers fell from our wings, and we want it to be worthy of you, but weather rained on our dreams, and we can't take back what is done or what is past. So fellas, lay down your fears, 'cause we can't take back what is done or what is past. So let us start from here. 'Cause we never want it to be lusty or lewd, nor tethered to prudish strings, and we never want it to be jealously tuned, nor withered into ugly things, but we can't spears, 'cause we can't take back what is done, what is past. So let us start from here. And if all that you are is not all you desire, then come. Come alone, come with fear, come with love, come however you are, just come. Come alone, come with friends, come with foes, come however you are, just come. Come alone, come so carefully closed, come however you are, just come. Come along, come with sorrows and songs, come however you are, just come. Come along, come let yourself be wrong, come however you are, just come.
So we want to share one last song with you before we close this evening. Thank you guys for coming out and joining us. Thank you for the invitation to be here. This song is about the earth made new. We often talk about heaven. Heaven is a place that Jesus is going to take us to, but the promise is that we'll come back to this earth and we will be recreated and restored in all of its beauty. And I'm sure each one here looks forward to that day. But you know, sometimes the cares of life burden us down and we forget that that's a reality that is going to take place someday. You know, there's going to be a time when we don't talk about school shootings anymore. Amen. There's going to be a time when we don't ever say the word cancer again. When divorce isn't a word that we use. When there's no more separation, there's no more death, there's no more sickness, there's no more pain. There is going to be a day when that is done away with for good. Isn't that a beautiful thought? And I think we need to think about it. We need to daydream about it a little more. Because I think when we think about it as a reality, it gives a lightness to our hearts. And not only does it help us cope with life, but it is also a beautiful, infectious thing that will draw other people. Like, we need to tell people about this. This isn't it. Praise God. This is not the end. So we're going to share this song with you and just give you a chance to maybe close your eyes and just picture that beautiful place, whatever pictures God paints in your mind, that it would just be restful and peaceful to you, and fill your heart with that restfulness you need as we go into this new week. And I want to just read a couple verses. Well, it's not here. A couple verses from Revelation 21. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. And he will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be crying nor pain any more, for the former things have passed away." Imagine waking up in the morning, not a care on your heart, there's not a care in the world. The sun's streaming in, the birds are singing, all's well in the world. And no, you're not dreaming, you step outside into radiant light, to beautiful colors that shimmer with life. You belong, love has drawn you here. Sorrows past, they're an old thing. Gone, gone are those years. Gone the tears, they are banished. Love has brought you home, home at last. The cool of the river sends a shiver of life up through you. You're glad you're alive. The fruit in your hand is fragrant and lovely. Air in your lungs, sweet as honey. The lion at your side is gentle and friendly. You lean on his neck, so happy you're giddy. You belong, love has drawn you here. Sorrows past, they're an old thing. Gone, gone are those years. Gone the tears, they are banished. Love has brought you home, home at last. You hear him walking out in the meadow. Your heart flutters as he calls your name. You bound through the flowers, look up in his eyes. There's no sense of shame, 'cause there's nothing to hide. You can't help laughing, and neither can he. It rolls out of his chest like an anthem of peace. You belong, love has drawn you here. Home, home at last. Sorrows past, they're an old thing. Gone, gone are those years. Gone
Imagine waking up in the morning, not a care on your heart, there's not a care in the world. The sun's streaming in, the birds are singing, all's well in the world. And no, you're not dreaming, you step outside into radiant light, to beautiful colors that shimmer with life. You belong, love has drawn you here. Join us. Home, home at last. Sorrows past, they're an old thing. Gone, gone are those years. Gone the tears, they are banished. Love has brought you home, home at last. The cool of the river sends a shiver of life up through you. You're glad you're alive. The fruit in your hand is fragrant and lovely. Air in your lungs, sweet as honey. The lion at your side is gentle and friendly. You lean on his neck, so happy you're giddy. You belong, love has drawn you here. Home, home at last. Sorrows past, they're an old thing. Gone, gone are those years. Gone the tears, they are banished. Love has brought you home, home at last. You hear him walking out in the meadow. Your heart flutters as he calls your name. You bound through the flowers, look up in his eyes. There's no sense of shame, 'cause there's nothing to hide. You can't help laughing